By now, you've seen the news about UNH, United Health Group, getting absolutely decimated on the charts. But what if I told you that this was predictable? Really, it was because chartforecaster.com basically predicted down to the hour when there would be a volatility spike and breakout. And it's really a start of this terrible downtrend. And there was some interesting news that came out with United Health Group. And we'll talk about this Investopedia article in just a second. And then we'll talk about these 3 points in time over the next week that you're going to want to be paying attention to if you're trading this UNH volatility. Revenue. There was a slight surprise. This is not even a surprise, guys. How can you call 0.30% a surprise? It is what it is. It's a terrible surprise. But an even worse nightmare surprise is the revenue, which was a $500 million short. So with that said, that's not good. And what happened was earnings came out today, and there was some very bad news that was also dropped the other day. So CMS, which is Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, basically announced that they would raise payments to insurers less than expected in 2027. So this is not a good thing for insurance companies in the healthcare sector because Wall Street was forecasting a bump between 4 and 6%. And CMS is only going to lift insurer payments by just 0.01% next year. So this is going to cause all sorts of things. We're going to see these insurance companies basically get squeezed for 3 to 5% possibly, depending on what their plan was moving forward. And we're going to see a lot of benefit cuts, plan changes, slower earnings growth, that sort of thing. So when we start to talk about this and the earnings, like the writing was on the wall, and that's why things really started to dump hard. But chartforecaster.com has 3 dates here that it's predicted. And before we get into these 3 dates here, I want to show you guys the power of chartforecaster.com. Now, this is only $9.99 a month, but it does a great job at telling us when we're going to see things like momentum start building, when we're going to see increased volatility spikes and breakouts, when the momentum peak areas hit, when there's reversals like this one, where it predicted 9 days out in advance down to the open that this would be the reversal and the price ripped. Again, this volatility spikes, breakouts, pauses. It just did one heck of a job. Now, the one date that you're going to want to really pay attention to here for UNH is that, in my opinion, I don't know if we've seen the bottom absolutely fall out on this. And we'll talk about this date in just a second, but I just want to highlight something here. Is what we could be seeing here is some sort of a symmetrical triangle squeeze really on UNH before the next earnings because they're going to be expecting, investors are going to be expecting management to basically work it out, right? So are we going to see the price really start to kind of do one of these things up to the next earnings? Possibly. We very possibly could. And we could be seeing like a bear flag, but I'm hoping that we see somewhat of a symmetrical triangle squeeze going into this earnings, something like this. Earnings are quite a ways away, March 26th. Wednesday, April 22nd. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole industry reacts in the next few months. They've got some time to game plan to assure investors that by the time April 22nd rolls around that, they've got a game plan to weather the storm, right? They'll make cuts where they need to, things like that. But it's predicting, chartforecaster.com, this is all UTC time, January 29th at 1344, a peak momentum area. So let's just head on back to the 1 hour chart. And so I'm hoping to see that there is a little peak momentum area right in here, and we'll see price kind of fizzle out. Something of that nature. Now, it is calling for a reversal in market high or market lows February 1st at 2200 hours. But that is when the markets will be closed because it's a Sunday. So we're going to look in this case to the next open. And so I'm thinking this could be a good reversal point to see if there's any support and resistance. And we could see a little bit of a bump possibly from there. Now, Chart Forecaster is also predicting some momentum to start building February 5th at 12:45. So February 5th at 12:45 is going to be, bear with me 1 second, just down the road. We'll just go to 1 p.m. UTC time, close enough to 1 p.m. So these are the dates that I'm really looking at for UNH. And if I had to trade this, and I might, usually I'm not too keen on the health insurance sector. It's just not my forte. But I'm going to be watching out for these key dates here, and I'm going to be watching for any type of harmonic patterns, any type of trading technical patterns, things like that show up. Because the first week of February for UNH, especially going up to that Thursday, February 5th, might be a good time to revisit United Health to see which way we think this thing might end up going. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.